Welcome to Arts to Envision. My name is Diane McGarel, and I'm an artist. This is a painting that I'm working on. It's on a stretch canvas that is 18 by 24 inches. I used acrylic paints. I like acrylic paints because they dry quickly. I also like the colors that are produced. It is very easy to clean up, and acrylic paints work well with other materials that I love to use, like molding paste, crackle paste, jewelry, and wires. One reason that acrylic paint is easy to use, that if you have a little mishap or you don't like the color, it's easy to go over it. The best thing to do is go over with white paint first. Then you can use any color you want. When I first started painting, I used oil paints, but I quickly switched to acrylic paints. Here is a snapshot of the painting in progress. Now you might notice when you get to the end of this video that the painting looks quite different from the beginning, and that's okay. I use a palette knife in order to spread the molding paste. I like using molding paste because it adds texture onto the painting. And you may have noticed a lot of my artwork has texture. When I created this artwork, I did have one figure at first, but it just didn't look right when I looked at the full complete picture. So then I started adding another figure to the piece. I ended up finishing painting that figure, but then in the end, as you will see in a few minutes, I decided to lose all the figures altogether. I did add 3 figures. Well, first I had 1, then I had 2, then I had 3, and then I took all of them away. Let me get back to the figures and how they were created, because I think that's very important to look at that technique. I begin by sketching out the head using a palette knife to move the molding paste. Then I do the shoulders, and I just go down from the head down. I did use a brush and a palette knife in order to create this artwork. All the time playing around with color to see which looked best. Now when I mix my color, I use a paper plate. I find it's an inexpensive way in order to mix the color. In order to create the curves, I paint the brushes in a curve motion. In order to do the rain, I also do the same thing. Now when I did finish the figure, I decided the umbrella wasn't big enough, so I did expand the umbrella, thinking that would help, that the umbrella was too small for the figures. As you can see, as I made the umbrella bigger, I used white paint first. That way I could put whatever color I wanted to on top of that, and the color would be more intense. Sometimes, if you want, you can add a little bit of molding paste with the regular paint. That way you can add a little bit of texture to the artwork. I kept looking at the painting from a distance, the figures with the umbrella. I couldn't tell if it was the color or the size of the umbrella, but I could tell something was wrong. And when you're stuck, sometimes it's best to put it aside for a few days and then re-look at it, and then whatever's wrong with it will definitely jump out. When I am creating, I'm usually listening to music or a podcast, and I think that helps create the mood of the piece. It helps me decide on what colors I want to use. And maybe in the end, I felt like it was too pastel, that the umbrella and the figures, they were just blending too much together. So finally what I ended up doing is taking a blue and a black and a white and using a palette knife and then scraping it onto the canvas. Notice how I use the palette knife in the direction of the rain. It helps give the illusion of rain. And here is the painting in progress. So as you can see, the beginning of this piece was quite different from its ending product. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the symbolism that I used in this painting entitled Beneath. As you notice, there is an umbrella, and I'm using the symbolism that the umbrella is God's love. And you will see 3 hearts in the umbrella. In the finished product, One of the hearts, the above heart, looks like a half of an angel's wing. The colors, black and blue, symbolizes, well, sometimes we feel black and blue. We are under the protections of God's love, but sometimes we don't understand what's going on. We love God, but sometimes His will differs from our will. When that happens, there is some pain involved as we learn and we grow towards Christ. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to Arts to Envision.